And the funny thing is, I'll start with this morning. I don't know if anybody's like me, but when you wake up in the morning, in the first 10 minutes, is it going to be a good day or is it going to be a bad day? Like, are you on your A game or is this like a C day? And I knew within the first couple of minutes, I was like, oh, I'm either going to spiral down or I'm just looking forward to spiraling sideways. So I hopped online and pulled up a Brian Buffini podcast, which I want to promote really quick. It was one that he just launched last Thursday. It's number 213, and it's called A Setback is a Setup for a Comeback. And it just talks about life challenges and how you're never prepared for them and how you overcome them. And this morning, I felt so much better after listening to this. So if you don't have the app downloaded on your phone for podcasts, just go to brianbuffinishow.com. And you can pull up these podcasts. But yeah, I was just on a downward spiral this morning listening to this, and I feel much better. So here we go. All right. So without further ado, we've got fellow equity agent Keifer Mansfield here with us this morning. And I'm going to let him do a little introduction of himself and tell us a little bit about how long he's been with equity. And then we'll kind of,
No, we're going to first talk about the stats.
But you wanted an introduction of Keifer.
Well, I just wanted to say hi to Keifer.
Oh. Okay.
Once we start with Keifer, we're rolling with Keifer.
Got it. Okay.
So we got Keifer on board for a second here. He's just going to stand by. Let us do our updates.
Okay.
And then we'll do the full Monty with Keifer and let him.
Yeah, because I'm really excited to hear from Keifer today. And thank you so much for spending your morning with us.
Yeah.
All right. So statistics wise, guys, the DMAR stats report just came out for April. So if you guys haven't downloaded that, I'm going to post it on Facebook so that you'll have access to it. It's really, really comprehensive. So I'm just going to kind of take some of the bits and pieces out of that report and just give you the Reader's Digest version. So first of all, I just want to start off with showings. Showings actually hit an all-time low on Saturday, April 18th. They were down 92.2%. I mean, that's kind of what we expected. But last Monday, when we moved into safer at home, but before all the public health departments started saying, no, we're not in safer at home, we're still stay at home, there were 3,500 showings that were scheduled last Monday alone.
Wow.
3,500 in one day. So that was kind of cool to see. And then that was more showings last Monday than any other Monday in 2020. So that was kind of cool news. But just to show how determined and resilient you realtors are, there were 3,200 homes that were put under contract in the month of April and 4,600 homes that were put on the market in the month of April. So during a stay-at-home and a pandemic, I think that's pretty darn good.
Yeah, we still kept moving forward. Yes, it's down, but we kept moving forward.
Exactly. So new listings were down 29% in the month of April compared to March, the previous month. And then they were down 37% compared to April last year. But if you look at our year-to-date inventory, we're actually only down 9% because we had a lot of listing volume come in January and February. So numbers actually don't look that bad. Despite the fewer new listings on the market at the end of the month, we actually had more inventory than we did last year at this time. So that's good news. That's going to give buyers a little more choice. So that's good. Let's see, what else do I got here? And even though we've had an increase in active listings, it is still a seller's market. The only range where it's a buyer's market is luxury properties, so $1 million and above. Most of the price points are at 2 months of inventory or less. The really, really tight price point right now, if you have a buyer in the $300 to $399 price point, there's less than 30 days of inventory. So that's crazy. If you have a seller, get their home on the market because it's going to go fast. On a positive note, average prices were up in the month of March. So we had a record average of $512,000 in Denver Metro.
So don't look at the national news. I said that last week. I mean, we are in our own little world, our own little bubble, because I saw something out there that said home prices decreasing by 2 to 3%. Again, that's national. We got to stay local. That's why these are good stats to have,
exactly,
and especially to share with.
So that was March. So we kind of peaked there, and then April we dropped 1.7%. big deal. Average price came down to 503. No big deal. But compared to April last year, we're up 1.5% and we're up 4% year over year. So prices are still going up, guys. Good. So that's good. The other caveat, or the other thing I wanted to tell you about, is that buyers realized that this wasn't a time to lowball. It wasn't a time to hang out and take their time making decisions, because average days on market in April were only 20, where compared to last year, they were actually 30. So sellers received an average of 99.9% of list price last month on their homes. So this is not fire sale season. And buyers, certainly the educated buyers, weren't coming in looking for $25,000 off on a home. So that's good news. Equity agents wrote 39 purchase contracts last week.
So we've been tracking this.
Doubled.
We were at 19, 19, 17, 39. That's how it's.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And that's why we're going to get into
Keifer
here. He's just one of those who's been writing a lot of offers.
He's probably written 31 of the 39. No, I'm kidding. He's just been on fire. So yeah, that pretty much wraps up the stats. And then DMAR does break down based upon price point, 100 to 200, 200 to 300, 300 to 400. So look at days on market, look at average sales prices. If you have buyers in the market right now or sellers in the market, just so you can kind of time when to put their properties on. So anyways, I think really good news.
Yeah, real good
I like
news.
The stats this week.
I want to share quickly with you guys a form that we have, and it is up on Dotloop. It's on Elevate. I don't think we've got it on CTM yet. We'll have to double check with Paul, see if he's got that up there yet. I just put this, nice. And it'll be in our weekly update. So hopefully this is showing now. Let's see.
It'll take just a second.
It takes a second.
But if you talk about it, by the time they see it, it'll be.
Talk about it, yeah. So it's a release of claims. Yep, there we go. Release of claims and liabilities. So I'm not going to read this whole thing to you, but what it basically says is you are not responsible for your client getting ill if they decide to go look at properties. So it acknowledges that there are certain risks of infection, virus exposure, sickness, and things like that, especially given recent outbreak of COVID out there. They're responsible to take all necessary precautions, mitigate inherent risks to avoid exposure and infection. It says client fully and forever releases, waives, discharges equity parties from any and all claims, demands, liabilities. Number 2, assumes responsibility, take all necessary precautions and safety measures, face masks, gloves, disinfectants. Right here, releases you. Under no circumstances shall client seek to hold equity parties responsible for any costs, damages, medical expenses. And then release is binding on the client, heirs, or representatives. So it's just a release of claims and liabilities. That this is not a mandatory form. But if you would like to use this form to protect yourself, to protect your clients, feel free to do so. I've seen some other forms out there that are like checklists for someone going in and looking at a listing that says, hey, has your buyer been to a place where there's an outbreak? Have they been ill? Have they been sick? Are they currently sick? Are they not sick? All these questionnaires. I've sent that to Oliver Frascona, Joyner, Goodman, and Greenstein for their perspective of whether or not this is a form that we would want to implement. Again, when someone gives you guys a form or asks you to fill it out, or your client to fill it out, these are not state mandatory forms. These are forms that are created by companies and attorneys to protect themselves, and you're not mandated to sign them. Now, a seller, if they say, I don't want anyone coming in my house unless they've signed this, they have the right to say that. So the seller does have the right to say, if they're not waiving the right, they're not coming in. So anyway,
it's a resource for you guys, because I have gotten questions this week from you guys. Hey, is there anything that we have to have our clients sign to protect us as agents and protect equity as a company? So
we do have it
if you want to use it.
Yeah, I'm not making a mandatory so that you guys, it holds up a paycheck or something, but it's probably good practice. Again, business practice, just to cover yourself. And again, someone can sue anyone for any reason, even if they sign something. So, it's just kind of a heads up, kind of like our wire disclosure. We heads up, there's fraud out there. This is a heads up. We have a virus out there, and hopefully you've been paying attention to this. Anyway,
Awesome.
let's move on with fun stuff.
Yes.
Again, we have Keifer here, and I invited Keifer, and there's other agents that would be fun to have. So reach out to me if you'd like to come in on a Tuesday talk. You know, we had Will here, and that was a great show.
Mm-hmm.
People got a lot out of it. I think you guys learned so much from each other. But I want Keifer to kind of tell us a little bit how long he's been in the business, what he's been doing. But the reason I invited him on is, one, he's extremely active with our company. I mean, he comes to the meetings. He's on the Tuesday talks. He's been on our little party hours or happy hours. Keifer sang at my inauguration when I became the chairman of the board. You know, he's just really involved. So I appreciate that from Keifer. It's nice. We put a lot of work, the company does, into trying to get you guys involved and reach out. And so it's fun when you guys do that. But besides that, he's just been on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And Keifer was kind of quiet there, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. Business was, you know, it was okay. But he's on fire right now. And I'm like, what are you doing? I mean, we're in this coronavirus pandemic, and he's on fire. So without any more from us, Keifer, a little background. Please tell us about your singing, because people are going to be intrigued about that. But then tell us a little bit about your business, why you think you've kicked in, and some of your personal growth, because you know, you mentioned on Masterpiece Days yesterday things that you're trying to do for yourself. So share with us. And I know that you have no problem speaking, so it's all yours.
So yeah, I used to be a professional singer for most of my life until I started real estate, which was about 4.5 years ago. I did a lot of crazy things. I was a backup singer for the B-52s. I sang with Riverdance. I backup sang for Sarah Brightman. I was in Japan for 2 years. I lived in Poland for 2 years. All over the UK. I was out of New York for 10 years. Growing up, my mother was a realtor and my dad was in construction. So I knew this was going to be my exit strategy from performing when I wanted to come back to Colorado. And then, I met Todd Stacey in 2016, 2015. 2016, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, what year is this? What year is this?
What year?
It feels like probably about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah. I started with Keller Williams because of the training, and I didn't love it. I had got my very first deal, and I had a mentor that I couldn't get a hold of, lost it, and I was like, nope. And I know Brooke, one of our other agents, and she got me to come in and meet Todd first. And then I met Stacey, I think, the next day. And I probably called Stacey 50 times a day for the first 3 months. But I learned real quick. She got to know me really fast. And then, I've had a goofy couple years. I went through a pretty messy divorce. And then last year, actually what Todd was talking about, when things went quiet, my mom passed away. And I just basically stepped back from everything for about 6 months. And then finally I was like, I need to get it back together. I did a lot of healing. I'm still working on it, but I just came back at 100 miles an hour. I don't know what happened. Little Tasmanian devil style, I guess. And it's funny. My best girlfriend, Katie, who was also a realtor with Equity, I was telling her, I felt like all of the business and traction that I was getting was like a gift from my mother. And she said, no, it's not. She said, you, the last few years, getting your routine, meeting people, networking, being you are like your mother, and that is the gift from your mother.
Aww.
And that felt really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've just figured out how to do me.
So what's that mean?
Yeah.
How do you, And I hear this from a lot of people, and I think it's the best way of doing business is by referral. And I know that every one of our top agents does business by referral, their network. So what's your routine? What do you do? How do you get in front of people and enjoy people, but let them know also what you do?
I never bring up real estate. People always bring it up for me. So it never feels like I'm pitching myself, but inevitably someone brings it up and will say, what's it like for the market right now with everything going on? I'm like, well, it's nuts. I'm doing 5 different deals at the same time. And then 2 weeks later, they'll message me, what do you think I could get for my house if blah, 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 blah. So I take that approach and I let other people bring it up, which always happens. And in terms of routine, I've just gotten, I tend to say yes to everything, which was slightly the opposite of but that is me though. Like if someone says, do you want to go to coffee? I say yes. If they say, do you want to go see this concert? I say yes. And it gets me a lot of fun things to do. But it's getting me business. Or I go to this thing called Show Tune Wednesdays. I'm aware how gay that sounds. They play like a bunch of Broadway clips and Tony performances and funny YouTube music clips, and it's Wednesday nights. And I go every Wednesday, and I've now gotten 6 clients from it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 4 people that go to it, and then 2 separate referrals.
Huh. That's
Wow.
great.
So, but it took a bit, but now it's turned into a big group of friends. So.
Right. So you're doing something that you enjoy, but being a consistent presence there has really helped.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I'm doing that kind of thing where I'm consistent, but saying yes and just keep busy, which also helped with grief from my mom, and all of it kind of was this moving piece that has just worked.
And a lot of agents, and I knew why things had slowed down for you. I wanted you to share if you wanted to share. And a lot of our agents go through, whether it's a family member that passes away or an illness or a divorce or, major life changes in this industry will slow your business down. That's all there is to it, because like you said, people come out to you and reach out to you for advice and guidance and what do you do and what do you think, and we put off a aura when we're not in it, when we're not feeling good, when we're recovering from something, and people shy away from us because they're giving us space, and sometimes we're ready to receive, but we haven't let people know that we're okay and that I want to be back out there. So for those people who are going through things right now, going, geez, I'm trying to get my business going back. I'm ready now. I'm ready to re-engage.
It takes time.
It takes time. But so what was that defining moment where you're like, okay, I need to start interacting again,
or maybe it wasn't even a defining moment. Maybe it was just a slow transition.
Well, money, part of it.
Yeah. Well, that.
Because you're watching your savings like, that was part of it. I started having little bitty thoughts of, is this what I want to do? What do I want? What do I want from life? You question a lot of things when you go through a death, and I kind of figured out my why. And my big why is I want to travel. That's if not the biggest, it's one of the biggest things that I'm proud of, that I have the most pride in. It's something I love to talk about. And I told both of you this, I was planning on doing 1 trip a month this entire year, which is not happening, but I got through 3 trips, which was fun. And once I figured that out, I wanted to figure out a way to get there. And I was like, well, this real estate is definitely not a 9-to-5 job. And I love that about it. And especially with the transaction coordinator now,
Yeah.
it's super easy to be gone for 2 weeks. Like I can still get my emails. I have my phone. So that started, and yeah, I just started piecing back together. Like I knew I walk Sloan's Lake every day. That was part of my therapy, I guess. When I don't walk the lake, I get a little crazy. And yeah, I just started figuring out that this was the easiest path for me to travel. And I want to do, so I just bought a condo for myself that I want to live in for 2 years. I want to rent it out, buy another one, live there for 2 years, rent it out. And I kind of set up this 10-year plan to where I eventually want to have like 10 properties, something in the Caribbean, that I rent out for 11 months out of the year, and then I can go for a month. So yeah.
Awesome. I mean, having that why, I mean,
It's strong.
that's
driver.
what, we teach Buffini, and then we got the master class, and it always comes down to the why for many things, not just for your business, but why do you want to do whatever it is that you do? And if you haven't figured that out, join our classes that we're doing, the master classes, the self-mastery, and try and figure it out. But when you figure it out, I think this is, like you said, this is the best industry, the best career. And my dad taught me 30 years ago, it's a wonderful vehicle to do the things you want to do in life. It doesn't have to be you. I'm a realtor, that's my identity. No, it's what allows me or you, all of us, to achieve the things that we want to achieve in life, whether you want to travel, you want to buy rental homes, you want to send your kids to whatever it is. This is a wonderful vehicle. So yeah, that's awesome that you said you figured out this why, and that's what's helped push you to make things happen. So the last question I have for you, how the heck are you selling so many homes right now with this pandemic? What's the feeling of your clients? Are they mostly buyers? And if they are, what are their fears, and what are you having to help them overcome, if anything? Or are they just like,
I'm ready to do it.
Yeah. For those, not everyone right now is selling houses. Some people are sitting at home, maybe watching Facebook Live going, really? We're still selling houses? I thought we were just hiding. So
yeah, what's kind of the pulse on the buyers and their feelings?
Energetic. I think it's definitely anxiety, but it's coming across as energetic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going with it because, I mean, it's kind of the same for me. And I've taken off a lot of the normal rules. Like I know Stacey used to would do her phone calls on Tuesday to update everybody. And I'm taking that off the table. And I'm like, call me, text me at midnight. I don't care. Let's get through this together. And everything keeps changing every couple hours. So I am using a bit of my theater background to make it exciting versus anxious, I think. But it's going well, and all of them are working out.
So we just had a question from someone. Lisa said, what's your demographic? So who's the demographic, and where are they mainly buying? What area are you working in?
I just closed one in Littleton. I have one under contract in CTM. It says Westminster, but it's Denver. It's kind of by Hidden Lake on like 65th and Federal. And then I've got 2 listings that go live on Thursday that are both in Littleton. Then they're buying, and both of them are all buying in Sedalia. I'm all over the place. I say yes. Back to my previous statement.
I say yes. I like that. I say yes.
I know. I think if people walk away with anything, it's say yes. When someone asks you to do something, say yes. I love that.
I mean, what else am I doing?
Get out of the house. Get out of
that.
Get out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
So, and so what kind of industries are these people in?
Job-wise.
All over the shop. The 2 listings that I have this week, they're related. The younger couple owns a landscaping company, and then it's their parents are also selling their house, and they're retired. They're about 70. The one I just went under contract, he's a home insurance adjuster. So when people make a claim on their roof, he has to go out and photograph it and let them know if it's approved or not. And one is in the Air Force. The girl I just closed with is an IT, or like literally every industry you can think of.
All over the place.
Yeah, all over the place, all different age ranges.
Yeah, that's awesome. And someone said, are you farming an area? And just from hearing what you told us, you're working your sphere of influence.
And doing things that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not farming.
I'm not doing, it is on my giant list, but I'm not doing mailings. I'm barely doing even internet advertising. So I'm trying to get that routine going in case this all runs out, but it's every day something new comes up, and I don't know. I remember back in the beginning when I first started, they said 80% of new realtors drop out or quit their first year because they don't make money.
Right.
Then 80% of those that made it to the second year stop because they're not making enough money. And if you can get through that, that's kind of when the floodgates open. And I don't know if that's what is happening, but it definitely feels that way.
Yeah, and there's definitely a momentum that
Yes.
comes. But I think you did touch upon it briefly about just creating habits and routines and disciplines and in all different aspects of your life, which help you be you. Are there a couple things, maybe 2 or 3 things that you do every single day that you'd be willing to share? I mean, I know you said you walk Sloan's Lake every day. Is there a business practice that you say, oh, I'm going to call at least one person or connect with one person, just to kind of give our audience an idea of maybe just some rituals that you have in place?
Not a specific routine, but back to what you just said, I get a little hard on myself for not doing the email or the social media advertising as much as I would like, but I advertise with my actual self is what I've kind of figured out. And I keep up with everybody. I probably talk with 20, 25 people a day.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And yeah, if not more. And then I video chat with people a lot, mainly because I'm
there it goes.
Mainly because I'm living alone, and it fills that void of getting to be around people, which is more fun. It's more intimate to actually be able to video chat than just text or so yeah, I communicate a lot, partially for my own need, but it works.
No, that's great.
And then they try and reach out to me. So
exactly.
No, and we have a handful of agents, or probably more than a handful, but a handful that I know how they do business, and they're similar to you. They're fun people to be around. They're very social people. And I say about Greg Tiffin, I don't know if Greg's on here, but and I know Greg's very consistent with some things. He's very consistent with his newsletter, and I know he's got his website. But I think Greg would probably tell you that he gets most of his business by socializing, whether he's skiing, golfing, having friends over for dinner. He's an enjoyable person to be around. He's always upbeat. He's always positive. And he's not the kind of guy that would sit at home for 8 hours straight and not talk to anyone. I'm guessing that's similar to, you can't just sit at home and play Xbox all day long. You need that interaction. And when you have interaction with other people, you start hearing stuff.
No, it's kind of like, I feel like I'm a puppy sometimes and I need to be walked. I know when I get cooped up, like I used to call it the loop, and I would go to Target and I would walk around Target 5 times just to get out, see people. And it used to drive me crazy about my mom, but like we would be in, at the grocery store in line to check out, and she would inevitably talk to the people in front of her or the people behind her. And I was like, just stop talking to people. And I've now realized that I'm in line at Target. Well, I mean, not now, but like before COVID, I would inevitably be like, hi. Not talk to people. So.
I know, it makes me laugh because I think of that game that came out right when this pandemic really ramped up, and it was, which celebrity house would you want to be in? And it would list like 4 or 5 celebrities. And I was just thinking, you know what? If I had to be safer at home or stay at home and had to pick some equity agents, Keifer would definitely be number 1 on my list because you are an entertainer, you're a social guy, and we would just have a ton of fun.
I'm just going to throw some questions. I'm guessing I know what the answers are here. Do you have a tagline, though? I mean, a lot of people are into marketing. I want to market. So do you have a tagline?
Yes. Home is a feeling.
Home is a feeling. Okay. And so what's that mean? Where do you put that on your business cards? Is it on your website? Where do you use that?
I've got it on website. I have it on a lot of my mailings.
Okay.
And by a lot, I mean my once a year.
Right. Your website, what do you got for a website? Are you using just our free website? You got a special superlative?
No, I do one through Playster.
Okay. Playster. So, I mean, those are easy, inexpensive, quick.
Inexpensive. Honestly, I don't think people go to it. They're saying Facebook business pages are going to be the new websites for business in general.
I'm not that excited about websites myself. I think it's you should have a business card. You should have a website. These are things you should have, but the best thing that you should have is yourself, like you said, and chatting with people.
And luckily I've got an odd name, so I'm easy to find. So I've had people that I've met somewhere that could find me on Facebook really quick, and I get Facebook messages. There is one right now.
You're going to have like 15 people to call back by the time we're done.
Right. So any of us going, he can't talk to 25 people in a day. He's had like 5 people call him while we're talking here. It's like, Keifer, how are you doing? What's going on? Yeah. Hey, do you want to go to the...
I get check-in text messages from Keifer. Keifer checks in on me. Hey, how you doing? How are you guys holding up? Yeah, and you do that very consistently. So I always appreciate hearing from you.
Also, it works for business, but it's also for me personally. So that's why it works. That's what I was kind of saying by I'm just doing me.
Yeah,
I need to.
Yes, and I like that. You got to do you. If it doesn't work for you, one, you won't do it consistently. And it's not fun. If it's not fun, you don't want to pound your head against the wall all day long in this business for the next 30 years. You got to find something that works for you. And there's so many different avenues in this industry that can work for you. And it's awesome that you found just being Keifer, just being Keifer. And maybe if you add a few extra things, like you were talking, maybe if I was more consistent in a newsletter or whatever, but the bulk is just doing what you do.
And that just shows you that as a real estate agent, you can have the ability not to have the peaks and valleys, as they say in Buffini, and just kind of that steady stream of clients because of all that consistency that you've been doing. Even when we're in times of turmoil or challenge, there are still people that need help, and they're going to look to you as that resource. So you're not going from, 5 transactions to no transactions to 20 transactions to no. It's just this nice, steady, even, keep it going.
Yeah.
Well, do we have any other questions?
I think we're good on questions. Anyone else with a question before we
wrap it up? Thanks, Keifer. This has been super.
What's Paul got here? I'm hearing reaching out to establish genuine relationships. The business side comes with the relationships. I mean, that's Brian Buffini. That's Ninja. And we have these classes that teach you how to be genuine. I mean,
that comes natural for Keifer.
It's kind of funny. Can we teach you how to be genuine? And I think people, have a hard time getting it sometimes in these courses going, really? I'm really just writing a note card to be genuine. I need to do some kind of real, no, just
Be you.
be you and talk to lots of people and embrace people, and people will be drawn to work with you when they need you. I mean, that's all there is to it. It's not that complicated as you're making it. However, you got to talk to people.
Yep.
You got to talk to people. You can't hide. So people are saying, thanks, Keifer. Thanks for sharing. Paul almost was crying earlier.
Paul was getting misty-eyed.
He was getting misty-eyed. So I totally appreciate you, Keifer. We love having you here. We love your energy.
Yeah.
And thanks for taking your morning with us just to share with everyone.
Yeah. And congratulations on all the success that you've built over these years.
Yeah. We're proud of you.
We're very proud of you. So.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes.
All right.
Go get your walk in.
Yes, go walk.
Awesome.
All right. Well, everyone on Facebook, thanks. Please reach out to Keifer. Thank him, maybe through text or email, or give him a call. He'll talk to you. Go have coffee. Say yes.
Yes, say yes.